What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. A fight that many people said was the biggest fight in UK boxing history. Tyson Fury took Dillian Whyte behind the woodshed and gave him a gambling house ass whooping. We was able to knock him out, put him to sleep like he had gave him some NyQuil. Lay your head on my pillow. That boy was asleep. All he needed was a pillow. As Tyson Fury hit him with an uppercut. Didn't even catch him flush. The uppercut was more towards the side of the face than usually when you catch a guy with an uppercut, you catch him right up under that jaw. You know, make him, make his head pop up. Like old Jack in the box. You know, his head popping up out that box. You know what I'm saying? Similar to that. You know what I'm saying? And Tyson Fury, once again, cemented the fact that he's the best guy in the heavyweight division. He's the top dog in the glamour division of boxing. The division that carries the sport of boxing. As goes the heavyweight division, as goes the sport of boxing. Now the fight kind of started off as a chess match in the first round as Dillian Whyte surprised everybody in attendance and everybody that was at home watching, or everybody that was in a sports bar watching, or everybody that was wherever they was watching the fight at. Maybe I don't know if they had it on closed circuit over there in the UK. He surprised everybody when he came out there in the first round in the southpaw stance. I ain't never seen Dillian Whyte fight in the southpaw stance. I done seen a lot of Dillian Whyte fights. I ain't never seen him fight in the southpaw stance. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to take away Tyson Fury's jab. So he tried to go southpaw and take away the jab. Basically, just like soon as Tyson Fury tried to use that jab, he just slapped that hand down, slap it down, slap it down. I see what he was trying to do, and he was trying to set up the left hand. And it kind of threw Tyson Fury for a loop for a part of that first round, but Tyson Fury quickly got his bearings and he started making an adjustment. He started landing some effective punches toward the end of that round. I thought he won the first round. It was very, very close round. Probably the closest round of the fight, because after that, it was the Tyson Fury show. He came out in the second round and he established the jab, and Dillian Whyte went back to orthodox. And he went back to orthodox. Now the jab is back in effect for Tyson Fury. He's able to utilize that jab, and he was basically peppering him with that jab, and he basically kept him at bay, making Dillian Whyte constantly have to reset. Dillian Whyte, the man landed 27 punches in 6 rounds. So that's basically 4 or 5 punches landed per round. And that's a disgrace. This guy looked very amateurish out there. He was trying to throw a chopping right hand. He was missing it by a mile. He was loading up on every shot, telegraphing his shot. Tyson Fury saw it coming from a mile away. Only thing that he was kind of landing consistently was the left hooks to the body. But outside of that, man, he was very, very one-dimensional. All he had in his arsenal or in his bag of tricks was hook shots to the body. And he was going for the one-hitter quitter, loading up on shots. He was head hunting. He wasn't coming nowhere close to landing those fight-changing shots. And it led to basically Tyson Fury said, well, this dude is just swinging crazy. I'm just going to be very careful. You know, I'm going to fight a little bit more off the back foot that I did in a Wilder fight. And I'm going to jab, and I'm going to catch him with the left hand, left hooks. And I'm going to be looking to set up the right hand. He caught him with a lot of 1-2s throughout those 6 rounds. He'll blind him with the jab and catch him with the straight right hand. He landed that on a consistent basis. And he just did a good job of basically fighting on the outside, very agile, using good head movement. His style is very similar to Muhammad Ali. That's why people say he's a 6'9" Muhammad Ali, because his style is very similar when he chooses to box. He fights off the back foot. Even when he kind of lands a punch, he kind of brings his fist up to his face and kind of like a habit. He just kind of do that stuff. Muhammad Ali used to kind of do that too a little bit. You know, you can tell he's been watching a lot of Muhammad Ali film throughout his boxing career. So we will see what happens and we will see what transpired. But this was a one-sided beatdown, make no mistake about it. Dillian Whyte got exposed. His fans had been complaining for the last several years that he was the most avoided fighter in the heavyweight division. He finally got his opportunity, and he came up shorter than a midget on his knees. Now he can go back to being the second best pay-per-view draw in the UK behind Anthony Joshua. Maybe he can get a rematch with Joseph Parker. There's still some fights out there for him to get involved in. George's fight is still out there. So he still got some opportunities if he want to continue to box. But make no mistake about it, he's been exposed. He's not nowhere near the upper echelon of heavyweights. He's not on the level of Tyson Fury. Obviously, that got answered yesterday. But he's not even in the category of a Deontay Wilder, in my opinion. Deontay Wilder put on a much better performance. You know, he didn't get knocked out till the 11th round. He dropped Fury twice. Dillian Whyte landed 27 punches in a 6-round fight and got knocked the fuck out in the 6th round in a highlight reel fashion. That fight, that's going to be the knockout of the year. And you might well give that award to Tyson Fury right now. You might well send that award to his house and just give it to him and let him, you know, give his acceptance speech, because it's over. That's done. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. And then he didn't even catch a flush. That was so crazy, but he didn't come flush. Now, Dillian Whyte tried to get rough. I saw him working. You know, he tried to get rough because he see how Tyson Fury was able to rough up and do a lot of illegal tactics, and effective illegal tactics at that, against Deontay Wilder in the second fight, in particular in the second fight and even in the third fight. So he came out there saying, I'm going to fight fire with fire. But the problem was, you wasn't doing nothing behind the illegal roughhouse tactics. You wasn't landing nothing, Dillian. You was throwing one punch and looking for a home run instead of setting up your shot. What happened to your jab, man? What happened to your left hook to the body? You was throwing some hooks to the body, but you was just throwing them. You was telegraphing them too much. You do a better job of disguising those hook shots when you fight another guy. I guess you had been on that level. You know, I noticed when he at the press conference, when he tapped Tyson Fury on his shoulder when they was doing a little stare down after the press conference, I was like, man, this dude tripping, man. You a challenger, man. You supposed to be mean mugging the dude. You ought to be putting your hand on his belt, telling him this gonna be mine Saturday. You sitting up tapping the man on the shoulder like you trying to be his friend. Y'all up at Wembley Stadium after the press conference, all buddy. I was like, man, this dude here is just happy to be here. Remember, I did a video about that. I said, Dillian, happy to be here, White. You know, people like, ah, man, you tripping, JB Sports. That man been waiting for this opportunity for the last 2 to 3 years. You know he gonna show up and show out. Well, what happened? The man got exposed. The man got knocked out once again. He get knocked out in dramatic fashion. This dude here is truly, like I said, the Amir Khan of the heavyweight division. He don't just get knocked out. He get knocked the fuck out. That's absolutely ridiculous. When he hit the canvas, he hit the canvas violently. He say he got violence on his mind. When you hitting the canvas violently, man, you ain't breaking no fall or nothing. You just bow like your body just went numb. You bow. You like you unconscious before you even hit the canvas. I seen how you got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. That was vicious. Then you got knocked out by Povetkin. That was vicious. Then you got knocked out by Tyson Fury. That was vicious. Man, you be getting knocked out viciously. I think you do need to take a little break here. Don't get your ass back in the ring anytime soon. Maybe toward the end of 2022 or maybe the first quarter of 2023 at the latest. But you need to make sure, after taking that type of knockout off a shot that wasn't even a flush shot. Like I said, he threw an uppercut and he basically caught him on the side of the face. And it was a shot that he didn't see. Like Tyson Fury was looking for that shot from round 1, and it finally came to him. The opening finally came, and he took full advantage of it. As Dillian Whyte did the same thing he did in the Povetkin fight. He dropped his guard, and he left that opening in between his right hand and his left hand as he was looking to block the jab. He was looking to block the jab because Fury had been scoring with the jab on a consistent basis, so he was looking to drop the jab. And Tyson Fury, he's a great guy as far as he feints a lot of his punches. He gets you to react off his punches, and he looks to set up and counter off your reaction to the punches you think he's throwing. He's a very good fighter in that regard. Him and Alexander Usyk, who's the guy that holds the 3 belts in the heavyweight division. Hopefully they meet up if Usyk defeats Joshua. Those guys got to be the best feinters in the sport of boxing. And he set that shot up beautifully. It was a masterpiece performance by Tyson Fury. It was Picasso. You know, it was Wayne Gretzky in hockey. It was a masterpiece, man. It was Michael Jordan in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It was Tiger Woods in golf. It was Serena Williams in tennis. You're looking at the best guy in the glamour division. I ain't saying he's the pound-for-pound guy, but you got to understand the heavyweight division carries the sport of boxing. He is the #1 guy in the sport of boxing. 94,000 is what they said was in attendance for this fight. So the guy is a big draw. So right now, this is Tyson Fury's world, and we're all just living in it. So you got to give credit where credit's due, man. So we'll see what happens. After the fight, he said he's retiring. He has nothing else to prove. He doesn't want to be a vegetable after his career is over. He's taken a lot of concussive punches, you know, in particularly from Deontay Wilder in his last 2 fights with him. He ain't take no concussive punches against a guy that only landed 27 punches yesterday in that Dillian Whyte. He ain't take no concussive shots Saturday. But throughout his career, he's been dropped multiple times too. So he's got to be looking at life after boxing. I believe his wife is a driving force behind making him strongly consider retiring and basically saying he's going to retire after this fight. But we'll see if he holds true. But now he says he does want one more fight, an exhibition fight. He says he's through, you know, fighting in a boxing match, a licensed boxing match. But he does want an exhibition match with the UFC heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou. That would be a big fight. It won't be quite Mayweather-McGregor, but it will be a big fight that would do a lot of pay-per-view buys because, again, you'll be meshing the UFC audience with the boxing audience, the UFC fans with the boxing fans. And that will make a tremendous matchup and will produce a tremendous fight and produce a tremendous revenue. And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. As the old saying goes, if it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. And that fight makes a lot of dollars and it makes a lot of sense. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. But Ngannou is still under contract with the UFC. His contract expires December of 2022. So Tyson Fury maybe wait till the first quarter of 2023 to make that fight happen. Or maybe he has an interim fight, maybe with a Joyce, or maybe the Usyk-Joshua winner takes on them. And then they'll set the stage for him to take on Ngannou. Ngannou probably got one more fight left with the UFC. Like his contract run out in December. He'll probably get one more fight in before his contract is up. I think he owes Dana White one more fight. He gets to win, and then that will set the stage for a tremendous fight. Now, what will be the rules of that fight? Tyson Fury said after the fight that it doesn't matter. It can be in a boxing ring, it could be in a cage. We can have boxing gloves on, we can have UFC gloves. It really don't matter. I'm a fighting man, and he's a fighting man. He's the biggest star in the UFC, and I'm the biggest star in boxing. So let's make it happen. Just like when Mayweather and McGregor fought. When you, again, in that situation, just like this potential scenario, you had the biggest star in boxing, Floyd Mayweather Jr., fighting the biggest star in the UFC, Conor McGregor. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts about the matchup that took place was between Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. Let me know your thoughts about a potential matchup between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. And let me know your thoughts about the landscape of the heavyweight division. Do you think there's anybody out there that can give Tyson Fury a run for his money? Let me know your thoughts. Follow me on JBsports 3303. Hit the bell button if you like the content of this video. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.